Hello, everybody, and welcome to Starting Small Music. I'm Justin McCormick, and you're about to hear a conversation with an artist, musician, and music industry professional on their journey and how they got to where they are today. At Starting Small, we like to take you on a journey uncovering the untold stories of your favorite songs and artists. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. How you doing today, Austin?
I'm doing great, Justin. How are you?
I'm doing awesome, man. So, kind of
Good.
getting right into your story, you grew up in Abilene, Texas. What was your childhood like?
Um, my childhood was great, man. I had amazing parents. I grew up in the church. Always a lot of music when I was growing up. Uh, Both my parents sang in the church choir. My brother was in the marching band in high school, and I took, a lot of years of piano growing up. That was my first instrument. My next door neighbor was actually a piano teacher, so that was super convenient. So that's kind of what it was like growing up in Abilene, Texas. Just wasn't a lot to do, so I kind of focused on music.
Totally. Now, did you have any family members that played music, or was it more from your neighbor that you kind of got that first influence from?
Well, I would say my mom's side of the family's more musical. My granddad was a music minister, um, and then yeah, my mom uh, and dad, like I said, sang in the choir. My dad played euphonium like my brother did. That was something I never got into. I just started playing piano, and then when piano became uncool to me in high school for whatever reason, I started playing drums, and then found John Mayer, and that made me want to start playing guitar and then write songs and stuff like that. So, but my parents were always super supportive of that, of anything that I wanted to do musically.
For sure. Did you do you think that playing the piano first helped you out, like when you first picked up the guitar?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Definitely. I wish I'd never stopped. To be honest, I wish I could go back and tell myself piano is really cool. Because that would be I can play basic stuff, but man, if I had just kept going, I can't remember how young I started, but it was pretty young. And if I could have just kept going, man, that would be a great skill to still have.
For sure. Now, in high school, were you kind of just playing in church and around the house, or did you have any local bands you were playing with?
Yeah, I played in church. That was mainly, let's see, I think I was like 13 or 14 when I started playing drums. So I played at church, and then actually was in a death metal band as well.
Really?
Um, I'm sure I drove my parents crazy practicing all that stuff. So yeah, I was in a band for probably a couple years, and we played just some super grungy places, and probably wasn't the best scene for me, but it was fun. And then when I wanted to switch to guitar, my parents bought me a guitar right when they were probably sick of me hearing me play drums. So they just bought me a guitar. And like I said, that was inspired by John Mayer, and just kind of went from there. Didn't play guitar in any bands. I just started writing songs and playing my own concerts at the church.
Oh, awesome. What genre
Yeah.
would you classify you were writing at the time? I don't think you weren't doing heavy metal concerts at the church, were you?
No, not heavy metal. Um, that was fun to write though. But as far as me on my own with my acoustic guitar, um, just super John Mayer stuff. Um, Room for Squares, heavier things era, like 5 6 minute songs. Dave Matthews Band too. That was huge. So, you know, three choruses and like long bridge, and so pop, acoustic pop, I would say.
I mean, how can you not listen to early John Mayer and want to write like lyrical acoustic material like that, right?
Oh, and all the chords and everything. It was like this new world of like, what in the world is he trying to figure it out? And I taught myself how to play guitar, and it was never the easiest thing. I had to start with the most difficult thing and learn that. And that was super frustrating, but I think it was good for me.
Definitely beneficial in the long run, for sure.
Yeah.
Now, coming out of high school, you decided to attend Belmont for commercial vocal music. That was your major, right?
Uh-huh. Yeah, it was.
So what was that decision like to leave Texas and come to Belmont?
I thought it was going to be hard. My first semester um, of my senior year of high school, I didn't want to leave Texas. So I was looking for options. I kind of wanted to stay closer to home. And then something switched in November, December, and I was like, all right, I need to go somewhere else. And found Belmont, and that was the only place I applied. And so luckily I got in and visited Nashville, and just loved it. So when the time came, it was, man, it was an easy decision.
What were those first years like for you in Nashville and at Belmont, kind of networking and your first years in Nashville like?
Um, Man, I didn't know how to network a whole lot, but Belmont's such a small school, and small, or it was when I was there, uh, small classes, which was really appealing to me. So I was able to make, a lot of friends, a lot of talented friends, and start learning through them. But I really, and I made some great connections at Belmont that got me where I am today. I will say that. After I graduated, I met a couple of guys, John Davidson and Jacob Bryant, and I was in a band with them. But they really kind of taught me how to network and connect with people. And I will say that that's like one of the most important. If someone asked me for advice, I would definitely say networking is the most important thing for sure. Yeah.
Now you talked about John and Jacob, great rock band you started playing with coming out of Belmont. You guys not
Yeah.
only played some major festivals, but had some time on the road touring with Casey Musgraves. What was your
Yes.
first experiences out on the road like? And kind of, was there anything you learned those first few years on the road?
Let's see. I don't know if we started. I don't think it was Casey at first. Man, it was fun. It was so much fun because I'd never gone on tour or anything like that. And eventually, we were in a 12 passenger van, and we were bus chasing when we were with Casey. So that was tough, man. It was like 4-hour shifts, driving through the night and stuff like that. But you know, just kind of learned how it all worked, and again, how to network with people and how to treat people. They John and Jacob are just the best people in the world. So it was great to learn from them. Um, but yeah, man, it was fun to just be fresh out of college and hit the road and kind of a rock and roll band. And man, that was a blast. It was a lot
Ne-
of fun.
Were you going out on the road on the weekends and then still trying to come back into town to write songs and still trying to get a publishing deal at that point?
Yeah, yeah. I was somewhat actively seeking a publishing deal. I had meetings and stuff like that. I really didn't know that songwriting was a career until I got to Nashville, and kind of, wasn't super set on that being my path. I was really focused on John and Jacob thing,
Yeah.
and making that work. But yeah, we were writing together, and I was still kind of doing stuff on my own and writing with other people. So yeah.
Now, I saw something online. This may or may not be right, but you actually met Devin Dawson, the artist you play for now, at a hockey game.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. This is where the networking thing, this is what I'm saying, the networking thing is so important, because through John and Jacob, I met one of my very best friends, Brett Kissel, amazing country artist.
Totally.
And Brett invites me to the box at a Preds game. And it just so happened that one of the owners, W. Brett, had met Devin at Belmont. He was giving a speech, and so he invited him to the box. So I get to the box and I see Devin there, and that's right after the Taylor Swift, the mashup thing he did, and Taylor Swift retweeted it. And so
Yeah.
I knew who he was. So I was like, well, I need to talk to this guy who's sitting up there by himself. And we just hit it off. And I was like, do you want to write? And we set up a write for 3 months later and wrote a really cool song. And then I think a couple weeks later, we wrote another song. And then we wrote every single Sunday for a long time.
Do you still have a standing right on Sunday to this day?
No, no. Other things in life have gotten in the way. But we try to keep it once a month. We try to get one once a month.
Totally. Now, in 2018, you had a massive song with Devin, "All on Me."
Mhm.
What do you remember about the day you wrote that with him and his twin brother?
So we were at the house that I lived in with John and Jacob. We had a big studio in the basement. It was an awesome house. And Devin's just like got all these ideas in his phone, and he scrolls and he just stops, puts his finger on the phone and looks beside and he goes, "All on me. Let's try to write that today." I was like, okay. And we he came up with kind of the guitar vibe. And then what we would do is I would sit there and we would just throw out as many ideas for the song as we could, and I'd type them out. So we pretty much had all the lines, our ideas for the chorus typed out before we even really had a melody for it or anything.
Really?
Um, and it all kind of fell together after that. Second verse gave us a little trouble. We had to go upstairs and make a little coffee, and that hit. And then, man, um, it was cool. You never, I didn't know what the song was going to be at that point. I just thought it was a cool song.
Now, coming out of that day, did Devin already say, like, I want this one for myself? Or were you thinking about did you have any other artists in mind that you guys were thinking about pitching it to at that time?
Uh, no, Devin wanted to keep it for himself, and that was when he was. I can't remember if he was shopping publishing deals at that time or if it was record deals. Um, but yeah, he definitely wanted to keep that one.
For sure. Now, his second project, the Pink Slip EP, one of my favorite projects you play guitar on, a song I think is totally underrated is Range Rover. I still bump that one in my car.
Yeah, absolutely.
What was your kind of going in to do guitar for that record, like your inspiration kind of?
Um, Not to get yelled at by Jay Joyce, I guess. Jay Joyce has produced the album, and he's just brilliant. So we we always Devin was really good about the band always getting together before we went in and having good ideas going in. And I'm trying to think who Mark. He wrote that one with Mark Trussell. I can't remember who else, but Mark used to play for Lady A,
Okay.
and just this monster guitar player, producer, writer. So he already had a bunch of really cool riffs and everything like that for it. So we kind of just, followed that a little bit. But it was just, man, it was like rock and roll, man. Just hit your. I played this pink Strat on the wall behind me. Is like just hit it as hard as you can on the chorus kind of thing. That
Yeah.
was inspiration.
Now, what does it mean to you to have that trust with Devin, that not only like you being his road guitarist, but him trusting you to come play his sessions as well?
Oh man, that means a lot. Devin's one of my best friends. We were both in each other's weddings, and so there is a lot of trust there. I'll say, you know, I'm not the lead guitarist. I'm just the rhythm guitarist. But it was tough when it came time to decide between John and Jacob and Devin. That was a really tough decision. Um, but Devin just was like, "Man, I need you out there," and I kind of knew that was the right decision. Knew he trusted me, so it's just really cool to not only play on the road, but for him to trust me to play on two of the albums, which isn't a normal thing. You usually hire session people and knock out 3 songs in a day or something like that. But
Right.
that recording both albums was really cool because it was the live band, 1 song a day, there for 12 hours kind of thing. So just that experience, and I have a lot. I really really thankful to Devin for that.
Do you have a project or song that you're most proud of that you've released so far?
Um, I mean, All on Me would have to be up there at the top. I Symptoms on that same album is probably one of the coolest songs I've ever written, and then the production that Jay did and playing that one live. Um, yeah, I'd probably have to go with one of those two.
Awesome, man. Now, I like to close all my interviews out by asking what your advice is to other musicians. I know you've touched on networking, but if there's anything else that you think that would be good, that's something you've learned along the way.
Um, I guess it'd be, part of networking is just be genuine and be kind and just be outgoing and meet everybody that you can. And if, you know, I would say just keep working at it, because things that you think maybe aren't that good, someone else can see the light in and can make it great. So I'd say just keep pushing, man, because it took me 10 years of being in Nashville before anything started happening. So um, network, keep pushing. If it's gonna help you out in your career, go for it.
Hey guys, thanks for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Make sure to subscribe and leave a comment, and check out my music on all streaming platforms at Justin McCormick. See you guys next time.